Mississippi. I thought that this was a great, incredible story. So Mississippi has now decided that they wanted to completely eliminate state taxes, income taxes. All right. I'll explain this and I'll break it down for you guys in detail. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Meanwhile, Mississippi taking matters into its own hands to put more money in the pockets of residents. The governor signing an historic bill this week to abolish the state's income tax, becoming the 10th state in the nation to eliminate income tax. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is the governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves. Governor, great to have you this weekend. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Maria. It's great to see you, and it's a great day to be an American, and it's a great day to be a Mississippian.
Well, this bill has been in the works for 15 years. Tell us what it will mean for the Mississippi economy.
Well, this is, Maria, this is our one big, beautiful bill in Mississippi. We've been working to cut taxes and moving towards eliminating the income tax, and I was finally able to sign a bill into law this week that over time gets us to accomplish exactly that goal. In Mississippi, we believe government ought to take less so that our people get to keep more of their money.
And when you look at other states that have no income tax, you've seen a huge surge of individuals moving from high tax states to low tax states or no income tax states. Is that what you're expecting?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you see not only economic growth in those states with no income tax, you also see population growth in those states. And we think we have a beautiful state in Mississippi. We've got a beautiful coastline on the Gulf of America. And I will just tell you that we have seen significant economic growth over the last 5 years. We've seen over $30 billion in new capital investment flowing to our state. And we think by eliminating our income tax, we're going to see not only more income and capital flow into our state. We think we're going to see more people flow into our state. And so it's an opportunity for us to be more competitive on the national landscape. And we think it's going to work beautifully.
And that is a great point. So currently, I believe there are 9, and now Mississippi will become the 10th state of the United States of America to not have an income tax. So we pay federal taxes already. Trump is working on a national scale to actually put us in position over the next 3 to 4 years to start to lower taxes and reduce the amount of money that we give into the federal government. Well, why do we give so much money to the federal government? Because we have social programs, we have fraud, waste, and abuse. That was one of the reasons why we have DOGE come in, the Department of Government Efficiency. We have people taking advantage of the system. We have legislators that are incapable of managing a budget and keeping costs under whatever it is that they're taking in from a state. And so these states have become interdependent on you guys paying more and more and more taxes. So, for example, you can take Maryland, right? Governor Westmore is working feverishly to try to figure out how they can raise taxes. Why? Because higher taxes actually temporarily fills your coffers and plugs budget deficits, but it doesn't solve for the fundamental problem of why your state is in a budget deficit in the first place. California is another state, and Los Angeles. Just last week, I did a video where I showed y'all that Los Angeles is the city of Los Angeles is operating at a $1 billion budget deficit. So they have to figure out, A, how they can cut costs, laying people off, so on and so forth, and B, how they can raise revenue, which you can't raise revenue by having better businesses because you don't have a business-friendly environment. So what happens is the state is taking in income and they're overtaxing the citizens, which then calls for the citizens to have a higher cost of living and for them to want to leave. What you should be doing is eliminating the costs that costs come with the residents by then removing all of the red tape, all of the barriers to entry, all of the additional monies that the government is taking in. So we need smaller government, and you need to make sure that you operate on the basic resources that is needed. So you need infrastructure, you need police, right? Public safety, education, which is also subsidized by the federal government. It's also subsidized by the federal government. Those are the 3 fundamental things. All of these bloated jobs and all of that stuff is costing taxpayers. You guys are paying for that. Y'all pay for the police presence. You pay for your politicians. You pay for all of these things. And the more that you reduce the cost to operate and living, the more that people are willing to spend, which then generates more revenue that goes into government coffers. So the less that you tax people, the more that you take in. That's the formula. The less that you tax businesses, the more that they then invest in your city, or they invest in your state, or they invest in different counties, and they bring additional jobs, which then brings an additional tax base, which raises revenues and then continues to bolster the state and the cities in which they invested in. And so what the governor is basically is proposing, and what he's gotten done over his 5 years in office so far, is he's been able to effectively set up the precedent to where they're going to eliminate taxes, which then eventually will phase out, and that'll make it a more investable state. And you know what the funniest part about the whole thing is that I was listening, because I did a little mini segment on this on the Anton Daniels channel. And you know the people that was in the comments that was complaining about us eliminate taxes? Liberals, Democrats, black people. Liberals, Democrats, black people. It must be a catch. What do you mean it must be a catch? Somebody said in the comments, it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my life. He said, well, that would mean you ain't going to get no more refunds. Sir, why would you need a refund from something you never paid into? That's the whole point, is that you get to keep your whole check and not have to pay income taxes on a state level, which makes it more attractive and more money in your pocket for you to be able to do what you want to do. I don't want to give the government money so that they can give me a portion of it back. Why would I need a refund from something that I'm not paying into? Why is it so difficult to understand? And black people are always the last to the party. Mississippi is operating on a surplus. More people are building there. More jobs are coming there. More people are deciding to move there. By the time that you catch the wave, because you know us, we only want to go to the places that's been popularized. If we can't spend a whole bunch of money to try to prove to ourselves that we belong there, if we can't go into a place that we can't afford just so we can try to finesse to be there, then we don't want to be a part of it. We always get to the party late. We don't get there before the investment starts. We don't get there so that you can create the environment and then be blessed by building up and building homes and building infrastructure and starting businesses there. We don't get there in the beginning. We wait till other people get there so that we can then have to prove ourselves and say, you know what? Man, it's booming over there. We need to get over there. So you got to wait till it get booming. You don't create the environment that booms, and then you get all of the benefits, all of the money, and all of the blessings as a result of it. You got to wait for other people to invest there, and then you got to figure it out. Nope, you want to go to the same dumb places. I want to go to Atlanta because that's where all of my community is. I want to go to Houston. I want to go to LA. What up to New York City? Same conversations every single day. Always the last to the party. You know one of my favorite places to visit? I visit it all the time. I go at least 3 or 4 times a year. A lot of people don't even, some people know it because you've been following a vlog on the Anton Daniels channel. Some people know it, some people don't. You know what my favorite place to visit is? Biloxi, Mississippi. Biloxi is lit. It's lit. I go every year for the car, whatever the cruise is, the car cruise thing. I usually go right after spring break. If my daughter decides that she's going to go to spring break because she's not at a taekwondo event or something, and I'll hit Biloxi, Mississippi because it's low key, right off the water, 6, 7 different casinos, all got a dope strip. I usually stay at the Beau Rivage. The people is absolutely awesome, and I catch public transportation everywhere and go to the mall. One of my favorite places to stay. Huge, huge Air Force presence down in Biloxi, Mississippi. I love Biloxi, Mississippi. About an hour, I can drive right over to New Orleans. If I want to go over to Mardi Gras and hang out over there, I drive to New Orleans and take less than an hour for me to drive over to New Orleans, go and party over there, head back to Biloxi, Mississippi. They treat me like gold. Treat me like gold. Some of the best restaurants that I've ever experienced. As a matter of fact, I've had conversations with people that's on my team and said, you know what, I think I want to invest in Biloxi. It's a huge opportunity, massive opportunity. Massive opportunity in Biloxi, Mississippi. And not just Biloxi, but in Mississippi in general. But we so short-sighted. We should be looking at this news and saying, wait a minute, where the business opportunities at? What's the play here? How can we capitalize off of this? How can we work with city leaders to invest in it? Right? What's the cost of doing business? Do they have a lot of red tape? Oh, wait a minute. They got a population increase. I mean, it's a lot of people going there. Why they going there and what's happening over there? Where the money at? We don't think like that. We just got to make sure that we party. We want to go and spend a bunch of money on stuff that ain't add value into our lives, and we can't capitalize off of nothing. It's so dumb. So dumb.
It's just incredible. And I love that you referred to the Gulf of America. I've talked to President Trump about his own tax cut plan. And one question I always ask.
Jake, always being dusty as usual. Nah, bro, you just like to gamble. Biloxi only fresh if you gamble. Bro, it's better places to gamble than Biloxi, Mississippi. I can go to Vegas and get free rooms for the rest of the year at the Vidar, the Aria, the Biloxi. I mean, not the Biloxi. Every single MGM property. I don't need to go there to gamble. You go there because the pool overlooked the whole Gulf Coast. But we know that Jake, on a regular basis, when he pop up, he gonna pop up with some stupid narrative because he wants to be seen and he wants some visibility. Anybody that has seen any of my vlogs know exactly why I go down to Biloxi.
Ask him is, how are you going to offset? If you're going to cut taxes and eliminate the income tax like you're doing it, where does the revenue come from?
Well, I've talked to the president about his desires to cut taxes as well. And for us in Mississippi, you got to know where we start from. We're going to collect about $7.8 billion in total revenue this year. And our current budget spends just barely over $7 billion. So we have a 3/4.
Do you hear what he said? They're taking in an additional $2.2 billion a year in income taxes. But their government is only running at about $7 billion in costs total, which means that even if they eliminated the income taxes, they still have an $800 million surplus. That means that they're running the government efficiently to where they don't have to take in additional revenue just so they can fill their pocketbooks and then steal a bunch of money. Even with the elimination of income taxes, and they're growing their economy, meaning that there's more businesses that are moving in there and creating jobs, then that means that they still have an $800 million surplus above whatever it was that they would eliminate from income taxes. So all of the money should go back to the people. If it's funded by the people, why wouldn't the money go back to the people? First, you have to learn how to manage the government efficiently. If you can have a budget surplus, then you figure out what is the gap between how much you additionally taking in from income taxes. That's how much you want to eliminate. You still got an $800 million budget surplus. That means that we can eliminate income taxes and then still raise revenue for the state. That's a win-win all the way across the board. But again, it takes for competent leaders to be able to manage the government efficiently in order for them to eliminate the cost of living for you. Y'all want to talk about inflation? Y'all want to talk about the cost of living? You want to talk about how much money you need to be pouring back into your community? Well, if the government is taking it all to subsidize other people's lifestyles, then this is exactly why they're eliminating not property taxes, income taxes.
$250 million annual surplus in the state of Mississippi. And so I believe that if you allow government to keep that $750 million surplus, they will find a way to spend it. Yep. But I think it's better for your economy to let individual Mississippians spend more of their money, which will then grow the economy. So the combination of more capital investment in our state, more job creation in our state, more income growth through per capita income growth, which Mississippi is in the third quarter of 2024 was the fourth fastest growing per capita income growth in all of America. We're going to see significant economic output in our state, and that's going to lead to us being able to fund the necessary services in government while also letting our people keep more of their own money.
Well, that is terrific. And like President Trump, it sounds like you're counting on growth. And that growth will create the revenue that I'm referring to. Look, the president is pushing to cut taxes on a national level by downsizing the IRS. He's creating this external revenue service, replacing income tax on U.S. citizens with tariffs on foreign countries. Just this week, the president announced a new round of levies on foreign-made cars. Watch.
We're going to charge countries for doing business.
Everybody talk negatively about Mississippi, but most of the people have never been there. A lot of people talk negatively about places that they've never been to. That always happens. Oh man, this is what's happening down there. This is how you know. You ain't never been there. You ain't never experienced it. You ain't never kicked it with the people. I done been to Mississippi probably 10 times. I've never had a problem. Never had one problem, been treated like gold the entire day. The people is cool, been all in the neighborhoods, the malls, the different locations outside of there. I've never had a problem whatsoever. It's always the people that talk negatively about a place that has never been there. Every time.
In our country and taking our jobs, taking our wealth, taking a lot of things that they've been taking over the years. What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States.
Governor, auto manufacturing, one of the top sectors in Mississippi, with more than 200 auto manufacturers and over 500,000 vehicles produced in the state every year. How are these tariffs going to affect your state?
Well, Maria, there's no shortage of opinions as with respect to President Trump's tariff proposals. But let me tell you what our experience has been in Mississippi over the last couple of months. We've had tremendous success since I've been governor now over 5 years of not only investment from American companies, but also direct foreign investment. What we've seen over the last couple of months is our deal flow and our potential deals in our economic development shop have never been greater. We are seeing potential investments from countries all over the world because they're going to produce more in America. We've seen companies that are headquartered here that maybe are doing manufacturing in other parts of the world that are looking to bring those manufacturing operations back on shore. The fact of the matter is that we have the potential for a manufacturing boom in America, and Mississippi is better positioned than most states because we never gave up on manufacturing. That's what we do in Mississippi. We make stuff, and we make it really, really well. And so these proposed tariffs and what they have meant to our deal flow has been nothing but positive. And I will tell you, I've got a team going overseas literally this weekend. This will be the third trip to a foreign country in the last 3 weeks. There are lots of opportunities out there for governors and for those in states that want to see manufacturing relocate in the United States. And that's been our experience.
Wow, how wonderful that you...
The opportunities is going to be there. It's going to be a huge opportunity. It's going to be a lot of people that miss. It's going to be a lot of people that don't benefit from this. Listen, man, it's going to be a huge boom. And when I say huge, I mean a massive, massive boom in the United States of America economy. And it's going to be a lot of people that make a lot of money. I suspect that there's going to be a lot of people that miss out on this boom because they are not focused, because they so caught up on what they saying on TikTok and they not paying attention to where the money is. They not thinking about the money. They so busy thinking about being dusty and under duress. This is going to be one of the biggest economic waves of all time. And if you are not prepared, if you are not in position to take advantage of it, if you are not thinking differently, then you will be left out and you're going to still be talking about the system is set up against you. In 2050, your raggedy kids is still going to be talking about how the system is set up against you. We're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. And then you're going to be talking about how your kids is still dusty because the system is set up against them.